Manchester United's season has officially tipped into crisis. That is right, Manchester United are in a crisis. Brighton have run out convincing winners at Old Trafford. 6 points from the first 5 games of the season for Erik ten Hag. When you think about what Manchester United are supposed to be this year, off the back of winning a trophy and qualifying for the Champions League, and Erik ten Hag getting everything right, this is a disaster. Boo. Booing at Old Trafford. Now look, some people won't see the significance of booing at Old Trafford, but it really does mean something. Some fans, they sort of pride themselves on booing. I don't think it's an issue at Goodison Park. I don't think it's an issue at Stamford Bridge. If something isn't right at Stamford Bridge, we will let the board, manager, player know. Manchester United don't approach the situation in that way. They protect their own. So the fact that they were booed off, the fact that there was booing at Old Trafford really is significant. And let's face it, a lot of the time, the things that have gone wrong at Manchester United have not been Erik ten Hag's fault. We've been able to insulate him from the criticism. Whatever else was going on at the club has been an excuse or even a reason as to why it hasn't worked out for Erik ten Hag, but that is not the case today. De Zerbi has well and truly given ten Hag a schooling. And let's remember, De Zerbi hasn't even been there a year yet. And he has rocked up at Old Trafford and put in a performance like that, educating ten Hag along the way. He's been with his group of players for less time than ten Hag. He didn't have his full team. It's all very well for Manchester United. I've seen some conversation around Manchester United fans online talking about the injuries that they have. Look at who wasn't there for Brighton. Brighton's team cost 17 million quid today. 17 million. That is less than a quarter of what Manchester United paid for Jadon Sancho. I just cannot believe it. And the stadium, by the time the players left, by the time the referee blew the full-time whistle, the stadium was practically half empty. And that is just not Manchester United. I can remember when I was quite young going to Old Trafford and beating them 3-0. Right, I remember Isaac Johnson, I think, Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank, maybe Mario Melshot were our goal scorers. And I was so amazed at the Stretford end. In the opposite corner from where I was sat, they were 3-0 down, their fans were going mad. Manchester United fans as an entity, and in fact, Manchester United fans listening to this video, they will be able to qualify this. Am I right in saying that Manchester United fans, they come together when they have something to protect? They come together when their back's against the wall. They pride themselves on that kind of attitude. So the fact that the stadium is empty really is insightful. And if you are a Manchester United fan, please comment and let me know if I'm correct here, because I really do think I am, but I do also hold my hands up. You know your club far better than I do. But my understanding of Manchester United fans is they don't leave early when things are going wrong. When things are going wrong, they don't leave early. You know, they protect their own in the way that they protected David Beckham or Carlos Tevez at the time or whatever was going on. They rally when it is most necessary. And the fact that they're booing and the fact that fans are leaving early really isn't the Manchester United that I know. And I think it is very, very significant. Like Manchester United as a club now, they are going backwards. In fact, I have to change that. Manchester United as a club, they are going further backwards. Like everything is going wrong for them, isn't it? When you think about what's going on at Manchester United, it just feels like it is one thing after another. There are so many serious issues with players, so many serious things to talk about with regard to players on their books. There are so many serious things to talk about with the form of certain players. There are so many things to talk about with the ownership, the lack of harmony within the camp. And that is applicable to everyone. That is applicable to certain players and the manager. That is applicable to the way that the fans feel about the board. That is applicable to the way that the ownership will feel about the fans. That is the way that Erik ten Hag clearly feels about some of his players. It feels like it is a self-fulfilling prophecy and things are going wrong constantly for Manchester United. So why? Why is it going like this? Why is it so lacking in any sort of harmony? It really is a problem. So off the pitch, there are so many issues, but then you bring it on the pitch, you know, where it most matters. And what is going on at Manchester United on the pitch? Look at the lack of heart and fight on display from some of those players today. There was no idea. And do you know what became so apparent watching the game? Just the lack of energy. The lack of energy and fight and spirit and urgency. And if you compare that to what was going on at Brighton, within that Brighton team, Like Pascal Gross, so full of it, so desperate, so on the front foot, such a spring in his step, such a live wire. It felt so passive for Manchester United. The way that you can run past Christian Eriksen, the way that you can run past Casemiro, they don't seem to press from the front. Marcus Rashford doesn't really seem to press much. The substitutions from Ten Hag, it was all over the place. I mean, Scott McTominay can't really defend transitions. It's just all over the place. And this is a crucial bit. It's going to come to a head. Everything that we've discussed here, when I started this, I said the ownership aren't getting on with the fans, and the fans aren't getting on with certain players, and the manager isn't getting on with certain players, and the players aren't getting on with the manager, and there is so much disharmony. It will come to a head, and it really will not be pretty. And if you think about the significance of what we saw today, Brighton stroking the ball around Old Trafford. I mean, what world are we living in? Brighton fans singing at Manchester United, can we play you every week? And they're right to sing that. 4 wins in a row for them against Manchester United. They won there last year, they won there this year. They dominate when they go there. Brighton fans, can we play you every week? To the Goliath, the behemoth club that is Manchester United. A club, don't get me wrong, Brighton are amazing. Arguably the best run club in the world. And you look at what they're developing, it's outrageous. I have nothing but admiration for Tony Bloom. And Zerbi is top tier. Love him. Truly love him. But Brighton going to Manchester United and taking the mick? What is going on? Manchester United fans booing their team off the pitch at Old Trafford against Brighton. It feels like certain things happen in football. And when you kind of have to redefine what's going on, you have to kind of look at it and see it through the different lens. And this, to me, feels like one of those moments. Brighton could have scored about 5 today. I mean, you can make excuses about players missing for Manchester United. I hear it all the time. But the club is in a mess. And the only thing that they had going for them, Manchester United, was very impressive home form. And that's now gone. And you think about their fixtures that are coming up. It really does say it all when Brighton are just knocking the ball around there. It really, really does. And I just don't know where they go from here. I really don't, because the fixtures are not kind. It's not looking good for Manchester United. And Ten Hag getting it wrong is an indicator of actually a cyclical issue that is going on at Manchester United. Think how many times a manager has come in, the fans have backed that manager might have won a trophy, and then it sort of runs out of steam and they rinse and repeat. Van Gaal, in, trophy, out. Mourinho, in, trophy, out. Ten Hag, in, trophy. Let's see how this one plays out. But Erik Ten Hag, I just cannot believe it. He's lost to Brighton at home again. And, there is a lot of good stuff to talk about with regards to Ten Hag. I think that he handled a lot of things well. I really do. But he's getting a lot wrong. Some of the most simple things, the obvious things, he's getting them wrong. On a really basic level now. Marcus Rashford is not a number 9. Nobody sees Marcus Rashford as a number 9. I have heard Marcus Rashford himself speak about playing as a number 9 and he doesn't want to do it. I've heard Gary Neville speak about Marcus Rashford and telling us a first-hand story. Gary Neville told us explicitly, I've spoken to Marcus. Marcus does not see his position there. He doesn't think he's as productive through the middle, doesn't want to play through the middle. He believes his best position is on the wing, and that is where he wants to play for the furtherance of his own career and for the furtherance of Manchester United. So why on earth is Ten Hag playing him through the middle? He's not effective there. He doesn't press well there. He doesn't lead the line well there. He looks a little bit lost there. You can't use him to his perfect. You can't get the best out of him. You can't coax exactly what you want out of Marcus Rashford when he is playing through the middle. So playing him there is just ridiculous. I don't really understand why you would do that. Dalot over Wan-Bissaka was a weird one. I mean, leaving it until 5 minutes to make proper subs. Eriksen and McTominay on when they're chasing. It's just odd. It's just weird. It just doesn't make sense. So, I really don't know. I suppose on some level, Marcus Rashford could have potentially scored a couple, but it's almost irrelevant. And now, Manchester United face Bayern Munich next. I imagine they will continue their amazing away record. So, it's potentially now disastrous. I believe that they are in a crisis because Ten Hag has started to get it wrong. It's all very well for things to be going around when the manager is there. But if things are going wrong and the manager is there and the manager is holding up the ceiling, it's just about okay. But it's crumbling. And Ten Hag is crumbling with it. His in-game management has been increasingly poor this season. Last year, please don't try and present this as being some sort of an agenda against Manchester United, because last year I explicitly said the sentence on this channel: he's got everything right. Dropping Maguire, bringing in his own man Martinez, got it right. Cristiano Ronaldo, got it right. Everything he did, I said he got it right, and I referred to him as having the Midas touch. It is the opposite now. In-game management, so poor, and he has to carry some of the blame. I mean, if these poor results continue, I think people will really start asking questions. Because losing to Brighton, a Brighton team who were without Enciso, March, Estepinian. I mean, Evan Ferguson, barely, It's totally unacceptable for Manchester United. And make no mistake about it, Manchester United are in crisis. Let me know what you think. Really interested to hear your thoughts on this one. Going to be in the comments the second this video goes live. So please let me know what you think about it. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. If you're new around here, by the way, my name's Rory. I talk about football a lot, and it would be my honour to welcome you into this community. So please do click the subscribe button. See you in a bit. Ta-da.